Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and I was always told I had a voice for radio, so today I'm going to be showing you a very exciting new Pokémon tool card from the upcoming Sun and Moon 2 Strengthening Expansion Pack. It's Wish Baton. And to answer the first question, no, this will not be coming in Guardians Rising. That's our May set. This will be coming in our August set, which will be legal for the very first time on the Friday of Worlds. Now, I said it's very exciting, so what does it actually do? Well, it's a tool card, you attach it, and if it is attached to your active Pokemon, and that active Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack, you get to take up to 3 basic energy cards from that Pokemon and move it to one of your bench Pokemon. The wording as it's translated at the moment, which is always subject to change until we get an official translation, is that you have to move them to the same Pokemon. That's still ridiculous. It sounds an awful lot like EXP share, or I should say, free EXP shares. It is ridiculous, although there is a slight change here, because EXP share moves the energy from the KO'd Pokemon to the Pokemon with EXP share, whereas Wish Baton moves the energy from the Pokemon with Wish Baton to one of your benched Pokemon that has any tool you like attached to it. Now, EXP Share has been a card which has been up or down. It used to see very little play because of cards like Startling Megaphone, so people would just remove your experience shares before they took a KO, and then they would essentially do nothing. But then after Startling Megaphone rotated and was no longer legal for tournament play, at least in Standard, it started seeing play in decks like Xerneas, because the break does more damage for every energy on the field, and especially in Speed Darkrai, again, that does more damage depending on the amount of energy you've got out, and Speed Darkrai has become one of the very best decks in the format in recent months. Now, given that EXP share has been so good lately, you would imagine that Wish Baton's actually going to be really, really good as well. Now, there are some downsides to this card. Firstly, the Pokemon must be KO'd by damage, so if the Pokemon is KO'd by poison, for instance, this will not work, and also dropping damage counters. That could either be from an attack, like Trevenant Silent Fear in Expanded, or it could be from an ability, and of course I'm thinking Decidueye here. So if you take the KO with Decidueye, then Wish Baton doesn't actually do anything. Decidueye players are going to be wanting to use this. And of course, if you're playing this card, then you can't play other tools like Fighting Fury Belt, which is important to allow Darkrai to do extra damage as well as upping his HP being a basic Pokemon, but also the upcoming Choice Band. Choice Band allows you to do 30 more damage to active EXs and GXs, and any Pokemon that's playing Wish Baton isn't going to be able to play Choice Band, which is going to be a big loss. And don't forget that Field Blower is coming out in the next set, so this allows you to choose up to 2 in any combination of Pokemon tools and stadiums in play, yours and your opponent's, and discard them. That's a little bit of a pain for you, because if your opponent uses Field Blower, and I have done a video about that, link in the description, if your opponent uses Field Blower to get rid of Energy Baton before they take a KO, then of course it's not going to operate, it will no longer be there. Although Field Blower can work for you as well, because you can have Energy Baton on a Pokemon, and then maybe you remove it for a Fighting Fury Belt, or if you're about to get KO'd, maybe you remove your Fighting Fury Belt and pop on a Wish Baton instead. So you could use this to change into or out of Wish Baton, but make no mistake about it, Field Blower is going to be very, very annoying. But this really just forces you to play well. You just need to drop Wish Baton at the right time, and if you drop it at the perfect time and your opponent has a Field Blower ready, well, there's not much you can do about that. But if you leave your Wish Baton on the field for several turns and you give your opponent multiple chances to draw their Field Blower, well, that, ladies and gentlemen, that's on you. Now, Wish Baton is a kind of card, the very good kind of card, which is going to be useful in a great number of decks. This isn't like Aqua Patch, which is amazing in water decks. This can be used in basically any deck that uses basic energy. Now, a couple of obvious ones I've already mentioned are Xerneas Break and, of course, Speed Darkrai. Now, given that it's already one of the best decks in the format with EXP share, you can only imagine how good it's going to be with Wish Baton. We've also got Volcanion EX. Now, I know there are ways to accelerate energy in Volcanion. You've got Baby Volcanion, Hey Nick, and you've got your max elixirs, but this could be a really good play here, because if your free energy Volcanion EX goes down, you can then take those free energy and put on a bench Volcanion EX so you can stream them a little bit more easily. I'm not saying it will be the tool of choice here, I'm saying it could be quite fun. And a deck I've talked about a little bit, using Wishy-Washy's GX attack to do 220 and take a KO, move the energy to the bench. Well, now you've got all the energy on the field, so you can use Wish Baton on your Laprases or whatever to keep it in subsequent turns. Or a deck which might actually see a lot more play, just Quad Lapras. Just use it in Quad Lapras to make sure that when one free energy Lapras goes down, you've got another free energy Lapras ready to go. This card is by no means perfect. You lose the opportunity to use cards like Fighting Fury Belt, which are so good in decks like Darkrai and Lapras. Field Blower is a genuine threat to this card, and there are ways like Decidueye and Poison to get around the effect of this. But even though EXP Share didn't see much play because of reasons like this, especially startling Megaphone, I don't think Wish Baton's gonna see the same dip in play. I think this is a card which is so powerful and gives you such a huge advantage that it will see a huge amount of play anyway, and of course I am going to give it 5 Wossys. I don't want to be too generous with my 5 Wossys, ladies and gentlemen, but when we're getting cards this good being released, I have no choice. Now, if you disagree with my 5 Wossy ranking, that is what the comment section is there for. Go nuts, be nice. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter @TheWossy, and of course, look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.